against I'm talking about. And I would like to stress that all these things are covered quite well in the Aurora Alliance and the Aurora Network. And UDE, the University of Duisburg-Essen, is connected to all those work packages quite well. I list here these which come to my mind: open educational resources, sustainability, and climate change. You see all these societal aspects, digital society and global citizenships, and so on. Health, well-being, medicine is involved, and so on. So from that point, it's also very interdisciplinary what we do at our place here in Duisburg-Essen, and would like to get this connected to the whole project at the same time. Research and teaching are closely related to Aurora, and the term digital is quite a buzzword which stands for computer science, stands for software technology, for data science, and it's becoming the cross-cutting competence, and the minimum of data literacy seems to be required everywhere. So every student, every getting into higher education needs to have a certain degree of data literacy. That's the kind of trend we observe here, and which is actually put into the syllabi of courses and so on. At least interesting parts of these courses are connected to research as well, especially in the master area. And what I'm talking about later is a very proven idea which tried to get student project groups into working, that hopefully are international very soon in the range of Aurora, hopefully. So that's kind of thing I would like to see during my time in Aurora, that we have international student groups which actually work together on these kind of problems from the various points of view, like computer science, of course, software technology, but also political sciences, sociology, and so on. If we think about this, again, interdisciplinarity is the topic which I would like to see here, because it's a general term we need to address, we need to organize, because thinking in our own little areas, in our own bubble, it's easy, I would say, compared to thinking interdisciplinary. I would like to claim that interdisciplinarity is in the genes of computer science, because computer science, if you go beyond hardware and software design at the basics, it's always the application of these technologies in certain areas, like application of man-machine communication, like visualization of data, like learning systems and stuff like that. That's actually from the start interdisciplinary work, and this affects research and teaching. First of all, I would like to talk about a research initiative within our university, which is actually very interdisciplinary, which is a so-called collaborative research center, Sonderforschungsbereich in German, which hopefully will be funded by the German Basic Research Agency, DFG. And the title is Agencies, Affordances, and Adaptivity: How Algorithms and Humans Interact in Political, Educational, and Health-Related Domains. So this is actually a very deep-going initiative, which is actually very interdisciplinary. I show you the people and the fields in their work in a minute, but I would like to first introduce you to the idea of the project. The idea is that we look into various areas like political science, education, and health, and explore how digital systems work in this area. For example, I'm involved in e-assessment as an important application area of my work as software technologist. So it's an example of education. So automatic grading is, for example, our topic. And agency, affordancy, and adaptivity in these systems actually affect the area of how the various roles in an e-assessment system, like a teacher or a student or the administrator or operator of such a system, actually work and what they perceive the system offers them. So that is the affordances. And the agency is the ability to work against the system or with the system and have an explanation of the working of the system in a transparent way. And of course, the system should adapt to the persons, the system, the persons who are using the system, and the system should adapt to the needs of the persons actually using the system. So that's in the area of e-assessment system, this is very a very interesting aspect to learn more about how e-assessments are used, and e-assessments are only successful in the application if we look into these areas. So we would like, as an effect of this, we would like to empower the persons by using those systems. We try to understand how systems and people interact. And this is truly human-centered because we actually put the humans into the center. And that knowledge which is created by these research is then used to design systems in a specific way that they are actually more useful than we did it up to now by only thinking from the technology corner of things. So that's a very brief overview to give an idea what is going on here. You see here the persons involved, the PIs, the names of the PIs, and you see political science, social science, psychology, digital party research, which is also political sciences, social computing sits at the corner between technology and human aspects, analysis of learning processes, but also theoretical computer science or language technology, which is NLP. And you see a number of people coming from medicine and or artificial intelligence in medicine, for example, which also sits at the edge between computer science and medicine, and so on. So this is the attempt to actually get a real interdisciplinary work into basic research in our area. So that's a bit dangerous, actually, submitting such a proposal, because I will talk about this a bit later about this as well, because reviewing processes in these large projects are quite difficult, because you need experts from quite a range, and those experts doing the review of those project proposals, they have their own difficulties to do this in an interdisciplinary way to come up with a good recommendation at this point. In teaching, we also try to get interdisciplinary course in data science and artificial intelligence up and running. The idea is to teach data science and artificial intelligence while diving into a domain. So again, here we don't see, or we see it important that the competences of the students we would like to educate in data science and artificial intelligence, they know a certain domain quite well, in order to teach them how they apply their basic knowledge in math and software development, statistics and machine learning and all the things you need to know, of course. And all the specific data science and AI competences, they have to do this, or that's for sure. And they have to know also ethics and other cross-cutting aspects, like usability of software systems which actually perform in these areas, and advanced areas in specialization in this area. So mathematical methods of optimization and stuff like that. But it's important to have an early connection to specific domains like health, engineering, economics, and the like. So that's actually what we so that's kind of the same idea which I just try to discuss with you and show you in the research area, and put this into teaching as well. Again, I would like to stress this is not easy. This is quite a challenge, and we have a special idea here to use student project groups which are able to mix these or blend these two aspects. The basic competences from the machine learning, software development, AI world on the one side, and the application or the domain in which is like medicine or health or engineering or economics. So they know both sides of the things they are actually doing research about. So that's a teaching, and this is also future work, and we will see how we actually get all the various faculties. Also, this is a cross-faculty thing in the university, which is actually quite a challenge to get the faculties under one umbrella to establish one or maybe even more courses in this area, covering those areas like basic AI, basic data science, but also the domains in which these competences are then applied to. We also try to broaden the view of our students for quite some years now. This is also related to teaching in the business information systems area, where we have a program which started a couple of years ago in 2007. It's called IS-Link. And again, this is trying to get an interdisciplinary view on not so much on the topics, but on different universities to send. We send our students in the bilingual master's program to have them study at a facility abroad, as a university abroad. And so the idea here is to make lean processes for application and acknowledgement of their credits and so on to have that. So it's a scheme of agreement between partner universities, and the idea is to automate quite of it. So that's another data point in the what I would like to talk about. A brief look at these from a meta point of view here is that we need to consider to structure our thinking into views, and that our world needs to be looked by multiple views to respect and to get all the respective stakeholder views into one system. This is a kind of research I do since the 90s. Last century, and which is now picked up in various areas, that you try to actually perform system design or system analysis through using multiple views, using various representation scheme, discuss the relationship at a higher level, at an abstract level, how these views might interact, and then give also some rules for checking consistency or inconsistency, which is more often the case, that views are not consistent, that you need to detect inconsistencies. And if you do system design using this kind of approach, then it's time to manage inconsistencies and find out how to reconcile these, or maybe even tolerate inconsistencies in system design. That makes the design and operation of socio-technological systems easier if you do this in this way. That's my belief. And there are some challenges, of course, in this kind of viewpoint-oriented research and design of digital systems, because of construction and management of those things needs some training. And of course, you need to tolerate and tolerate inconsistencies you can't make everything consistent. That breaks your neck quite often. So that's a kind of thing which is quite interesting. That it took quite a number of years to get this into mainstream research areas in computer science, and that it's actually accepted that it helps to reduce problem and solution complexity in this way. So so that's a backdrop for this collaborative research center that we have designed or try to use this idea to design our system this way. So I come to an end. All this is not easy. The complexities are quite high. In addition, many regulations come in the way. So, for example, if you do this kind of interdisciplinary studies and courses, then the university administration comes and say, no, you can't do this because of these rules about credit points, and you can't combine this and that, and then you have to argue. And so this is always a steep hill up. You have to go here, and if you talk to people, sometimes then you get the feeling that in the basic research funding agency, for example, that's kind of lip service they do. They say interdisciplinarity is quite important. Please submit interdisciplinary project proposals. And when it comes to review, then it's very hard to actually get them through. Especially when it comes to formal reviews, for example. Stakeholder wishes are often inconsistent, also in this area, and difficult to reconcile. Student mobility for getting the view broader and learn more about different views in the world is getting less popular, in at least what I experience. However, all this is very rewarding to combine computer science with multiple domains. To the mutual benefit, and I really enjoy this. Although, as I said, it's a bit difficult at times. Thank you very much. That's from me, and I hope I stayed in my time now, getting things into discussion now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael. The floor is now open for questions. Do you hear me? Thank you very much, Michael. Or Michael, I should say.
Okay.
You can hear me now?
Yes, I hear you quite well.
The floor is open for questions.
Thank you.
You touched upon both research and teaching. I believe that tomorrow we will have some time in the afternoon discussion, if you are there, to discuss more about teaching. I think what you have presented very briefly, your suggestion to use student groups and hopefully international ones in order to get the connection between the basic knowledge about technologies and so on, plus the link to various domains in a kind of research like student groups. That's what I understand, but I think that is very useful to discuss tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
What is also interesting, I think, your interdisciplinary experiences. There are a number of people here in the room that also have interdisciplinary experiences. And for example, what you say about the problems of reviewers to do a proper review when it comes to really rings a bell.
Okay.
Will be quickly changing, although we still have to do. I want to make a connection to the next talk. Your research project is called Agency, Affordances and Adaptivity. And these are all concepts that are much broader than digital. Could you say something about the notion of agency and affordances that you are using in that research project?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. these are terms from our colleagues from psychology, and but we explain them within the CRC in such a way that we always have in mind that a user in different roles, like it can also be the operator of a system, like it's not only the software developer and the user who connect when they talk about a digital system, but it's the idea that these various roles think about or we discuss or think about and analyze how these present the abilities of the system to the user or the various user roles, and then also try to detect whether the user is actually feeling that he or she is not able to interact properly with the system, in the sense that the that the abilities a user has to influence the system are not known to the user. So if the user would know everything about the system, then he or she could deal with the system properly. But in effect, if you are presented with a very complex system, like even Facebook or whatever, I'm not a Facebook user, but I see that if I look over the shoulder of people using it, it's quite a complex system. Meanwhile, and you're not sure if you whether you push this button or press this dial or some whatsoever, what did actually happen or does to you. And in these interactions, what you do and what the system does to you, and in this sense, we discuss these various terms: affordances, agency. Adaptivity is pretty clear because the system should adapt to the user, of course, but that's also easy to say but difficult to achieve at a really useful form of adaptivity. But the interaction between user and system, and how to design in such a way that the user always sees what kind of agent the system has on what kind of agent the user has. That's the aim in we try to achieve and analyze what kind of operations or services are useful in that context for delivering it to the users, the various roles a user can have in the system. I can't hear you.
Thank you very much. And in this conference, there seems to be a relatively high proportion of non-Facebook users, surprisingly. But I would like to move to the next speaker.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, Trygve Theyer. He is from the University of Iceland, Director of Academic